Dear Perceptive Reader, this is a special, what I would consider, address to the vegetarians and vegan persons to please indulge me on this topic, okay? Because it's something I just want you to be aware of, not that it would change anything about your diet at all, because this is not to encourage you to change any aspect of your diet at all. Okay. And so you can consider this just a bit of wisdom in the letter, so to speak. All right. What is this about? Well, it actually deals with the different culinary uh, uh, expertise and skills that are taught to, I would say, uh, 100% mostly of chefs around the world. Because chefs, they get paid pretty good money. Even on the lower end of the scale, a lot of chefs, and hopefully the economy hasn't affected them that much, but a lot of chefs still get paid uh, in the upper, way more over 40, $50 an hour, you see, um, in their different occupations. Uh, I wanted to say as a medium, probably $100 an hour and more. But I'm just telling you, even in slow economies, you will find chefs that still making around about $40, $50 an hour and on up. And see, and to some persons, they may say, well, ooh, that's a pretty good living. Yes, it is. And yet at the same time, when you think about the assignments, the jobs that they take, still, how many hours do a lot of them work a day? Uh, you have some chefs, many of them, when they can get those decent jobs, they will have a team, you see, to help them in whatever the catering service is or what have you, that they would be in charge over. But that's still a lot of responsibility, let me tell you. And then on top of that, you will find a lot of chefs, now listen to this, a lot of chefs still have a vernacular, a voice, if you will, that, oh my goodness, not only does their food taste good, but whenever they have to address the table, address the people, if you will, who want to thank the chef or what have you, their manners even are on such a level where it just makes the food taste just that much better. And the wine. That's right. I'm throwing the drinks in there too. However, let me tell you, vegetarians, the reason why I wanted to let you know that part of their skill on having to know how to cook everything is because there are different customers. Some of them, yes, would be sushi, vegan eaters as well. Yes, yes, yes. However, the majority of the people on the face of this earth today still, just not even by choice, are still required to have to eat more than plant-based protein, but literally, the meat and potatoes of the building blocks of muscle and energy in life. Yes. And that has really come about through the centuries out of necessity. Uh, really, think about it. Even God realized that. There was a time where there was a curse even on the land after Adam and Eve. And so people resorted to getting from animals what they certainly couldn't get from the ground. And yet, this is what I want to address to you, vegans and vegetarians. Uh, I know you've seen many of the ways of the different plants that animals have been treated or killed, even for food processes, which actually, as people have found out, um, at the point of the life being cut off, it's like a lot of fear was involved and things of that nature, which is stored in the nerves and the meat itself, which I won't get into. But see, these are some of the statements and discussions that you have had with others as to why you will not eat any. Even dairy products and things of that nature, meat and dairy products. And yet, this is still what I want to share with you, that God actually did make an allowance, and I'm sure it has been factored in with the way that the animals' intelligence are on certain levels. You see, some persons used to say that animals were going or moving basically totally off of instincts, which we have come to find out that no, that isn't the case either. That animals in general, I mean, it seems like even fish are not totally on instinct, and then you have some animals that are. The instinct mostly comes in where they just know where they're supposed to go, during seasons and things of that nature, and being able to traverse long distances. But yes, there are many examples now of animals feeling emotional pain over the loss of a loved one. We certainly have seen domesticated animals go through depression even after the loss of a loved one. So it's more higher than the instinctual type. And yet, guess what? It doesn't go into the realm, though, that humans actually have, which deals with the fear of death in itself. Here is what I mean by that. You will find that, even that illustration about birds making a living every day, searching for food, it's like when you really look at them, they're just happy all the time as their overall feeling about life. They don't be living in dread or anything of that nature of death, like humans do. And that shows a way that they're made up in general of even the glory to God, if you will, to not have that type of horror or fear of life. See, even out on the plains, yes, you see deers running and everything else, even from the predators and things of that nature. But in between there, you still see them just displaying the glory of God, their instincts to run when they run, to protect one another when they do protect one another. And yes, and it's a shame sometimes to see that side of nature, which one day will go away according to God's wishes as well. Yet, I still want to share with you, vegans and vegetarians, that there are still many persons that have been taught, and even type of plants, where that type of processing of the meats and foods and things of that nature is like it was done even back in the Bible times, just very swiftly and very humanely, you see. And that's what God wanted. Even the way that the animals were supposed to be treated in general, they were supposed to be treated good, even up to the point where, they would turn into the nourishment for the nations, like, bulls and things of that nature. They were supposed to be able to eat freely. Even while they were working, they were supposed to be able to eat freely. And God did not want them, hindered in such a way that it would fall into abuse. You see what I'm saying? And even worse, well, that's abuse. That word covers it all. But I just wanted to let you know again that some of the ways that persons did start treating and putting animals to death at times, I can tell you right now, God does not agree with that type of inhumane treatment, even for animals. So, getting right back to the meals, though, okay? Getting back to the meals that chefs will even cook. And why they are taught such things is because uh, there's in an important way of even preparation for meals, which these chefs and even people who haven't gone to those schools even show you today, so that you will be able to eat the produce of the bull, if you will, uh, and be healthy and prepare in such a way that you won't even get sick. You see what I'm saying? Because the bull, yes, uh, with God, even through his sacrifice, that people used to make of a whole bull sacrifice after the animal was put to death first. You see, you could offer up a whole bull to God, cook the whole bull. And yet there were actually certain prize meaty parts, if you will, that were still set aside even for the priest, that God wanted done in that way. So it goes to show that even God eats meat. You know what I mean. I know some people say, wait a minute, God is spirit. You know what I mean by that. Okay. But you see, it goes to show it was okay and approved by God, and that even the whole bull, nothing was left that wasn't consumed, so to speak, nothing that was waste in that way of a sacrifice. And so you have people today who still even specialize in any animal, to prepare it in different ways and this and that, where you will find literally nothing is really wasted, or very few, or what have you, items, if any at all. And those type of skills are still passed on to chefs. Some of them specialize. And then you still have, and this is what I want to emphasize, even everyday people who have those type of skills. And some of those skills will be considered even invaluable in certain communities, communities who don't even have those skills or even knowledge that you mean we can actually eat this in this way. Yeah, you prepare it in such a way. Yes. And in closing, I'm going to give you one example because uh, there are some people who won't even eat fish. I find that very interesting. But that's where you get into those straight vegetarians, you see. However, this is what I'm going to tell you about that. Crabs, for example, there are some persons who will eat every single part of the crab. And then there are some persons who say you're not supposed to do that because it will make you sick. Well, listen to this. Even recently, I heard one person, because I was trying to reconcile that to myself, because even at my age, don't you know, there are still certain parts, no matter how much I love crab, there are just certain items, very few, that even I haven't eaten, will not eat, because guess what? Even when I by mistake ate these certain parts, exactly what was described as how they could make you sick actually happened to me many years ago. And so, you didn't have to have me try that anymore after that. But guess what? What one person actually explained was, one, it's also in the preparation, and to even the item that I ate, from what the persons had mentioned. See, to some persons, that it's really one of the best parts of the crab. But guess what? Their system still built up a tolerance towards certain items. So he was basically saying you need moderation, see, and that's what a lot of persons did just in their background and growing up. They didn't even realize that they already had a nice system that boy did, could tolerate it, and they certainly enjoyed the taste and the way it was prepared, that now it doesn't bother them at all. But see, not everybody can do that. And that's what I didn't know. So the person who built up a tolerance for it, it tastes great. And boy, they look forward to that aspect of it in every single craft. But now, somebody like myself is like, no, I'm at this age now. I'm not going to start anew. But see, that's what I'm saying, that you will find these persons have learned what they needed to learn. And in this day and age, uh, yes, uh, it has proven to still be necessary. But guess what? As a vegan, as a vegetarian, you are already on the earth to still show how we will be one day all living in the future and looking good and being strong as well, when God says, and has moved us over patiently, you see what I'm saying, to be able to adjust to such a wonderful lifestyle. Have a beautiful day, Perceptive Reader.